Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about hair breakage. Just kind of list off a bunch of tips and tricks that I have. Keep in mind that I am not professional and professionals will always give you the most accurate advice for your particular hair situation. Hair breakage can happen for a lot of different reasons. Most commonly, a chemical service that you might have done, such as lightening, bleaching your hair, coloring your hair repeatedly, putting a relaxer in your hair to straighten it, maybe you did a perm. But breakage can also be from heat damage when you're styling your hair too much, you're using way too high of a heat setting. And there are a lot of different levels of hair breakage as well. Some people unfortunately have breakage right pretty much at the root, which causes their hair to stick up straight. People might just have some breakage near the very ends of their hair. Mine tends to be at about this point in my hair, kind of in the middle. So any like shorter piece that you might see on top, these are all totally broken off pieces. The first tip I have is you gotta trim the breakage. I know it doesn't seem like you want your breakage to be shorter than it is, but even just cleaning up the very ends and getting those split ends off are gonna help. Especially if you have split ends on your breakage, which you most likely do. Split ends just keep splitting up and up and up the hair. The quicker you can chop them off, the less likely they are to continue spreading upwards up the hair and making your breakage look worse and shorter. Like, let's just say this whole section of my hair was broken up at roughly the same point and it looked very jagged and out of place with my hair. One thing you can do is take some hair cutting scissors or just some like small scissors, cut up into your breakage. By cutting up into your breakage, you're kind of thinning it out a little bit. Having that end be just a little bit thinner, it just helps to blend with the rest of your hair instead of having a very harsh, blunt, thick chunk that is very obvious. You have hair that is long and all one length, but you've got a bunch of broken pieces up here. It looks obvious that it is breakage. So what I do is I get layers throughout the rest of my hair so it just doesn't look so disjointed. It looks like, well, for the most part, I would say that my breakage kind of just looks like on purpose layers because I've got layers and pieces everywhere else as well. So if your breakage is mostly in your part that you usually wear, change it up. Go for a side part, or if your breakage is on this side, try parting your hair on this side and just basically you're folding over your good hair on top of your broken hair and just hiding it. I hid my broken hair for a long time, and actually if you go back in my videos to about 2 years ago, you will notice a whole string of videos where I constantly wore my hair in this little half ponytail on my head, and I did that because all my broken pieces were right in the front and right on the top, and I just hid it. I just wore it up in a cute little half bun or a half ponytail, and I did that for almost a year while they grew out. And what I do for styling is I take a large barrel curling iron. I think this is probably like 1 3/4 inch maybe. This particular curling iron goes up to like 450 or something, and I have it on 190 right now, which is on the lower spectrum. And what I like to do is curl my hair under. If you start curling your hair outwards, those little broken pieces are just gonna stick right out straight, very obvious. By curling these broken pieces under, they really do camouflage into the rest of my hair, and I don't need a high heat setting to do this. I'm not really trying to curl my hair, I'm just trying to curl those pieces under. This e.l.f. clear brow gel is so strong, and if I've got little broken pieces that are just being very unruly and sticking up, then I will literally paint on brow gel, and this will hold down my little broken flyaways like no other. This next tip I have is pretty obvious, but you gotta use a heat protector. The one that I use more recently is the Redken Pillow Proof Blow Dry Express Primer, and this is something that is good for like time saving when you're blow drying your hair, but it also does have some heat protection in it. I personally don't think you have to spend a lot of money on heat protectant, but just make sure that you use one. Go to the drugstore, pick one up. It just helps create a barrier between your hair and whatever hot tool you're using on top of it, and obviously the less damage you do to your hair, the less breakage you might have. If you're someone that likes to put it on full blast because it is going to get the job done the quickest, trust me, there is no one that hates blow drying their hair more than me. Same goes for if you're using a straightener or a curling iron. Like, just lower that heat. I used to be very hard on my hair. I would literally touch the hair dryer on my hair because I wanted it to be dry so fast. So now, along with using a good heat protectant, I also use a not so hot setting on my blow dryer, and I don't touch my blow dryer to my hair anymore. I just always make sure I keep it moving so it's not burning one place of my hair. Okay, so my next tip is obviously use products that are meant for broken hair. So I'll mention a couple that I use. This is the Redken Extreme CAT, and this is an anti-damage protein reconstructing rinse off treatment. So this is straight liquid in there, and I keep it in my shower. So after I've shampooed my hair, spray this all over the top layer of my hair, and I leave it on for about 3 to 5 minutes. Then I rinse it off and follow with my regular conditioner. Protein helps your hair become stronger so that it doesn't break so easily. I also use kind of a sister product to that. This is also a Redken Extreme product, and this is the anti-snap. So this is an anti-breakage leave-in product. So this is something I use on my damp hair before I blow dry, and also before I use my heat protectant spray. And you just use this on the places that you need it. It's just like kind of a cream type of product, and I just run it through with my fingers over the top layer of my hair. A product that is a must for me is this Aphogee Balancing Moisturizer. This product really moisturizes my hair. It makes it feel like hair again. I got this at Sally's Beauty, if you're wondering. I don't know what else to say about this other than if your hair doesn't really feel like hair anymore and it's so dry and so brittle and so broken, definitely pick this up. It's such a great product. Another product that is similar to that, which I don't have with me, is the Redken AllSoft line. So whether you just get the conditioner, they also have something called a heavy cream, which is I think more like a mask product. That is also really great for keeping your hair really, really soft. The next thing that I want to tell you about is something that I've recently done, and I've switched my pillowcase to a silk pillowcase. I got this one at Sally's Beauty, and this is something I didn't really realize, but I was always waking up and seeing like hair breakage on my pillow, and I'm someone who changes sides when I'm sleeping a lot, and I think the friction of my like old normal like rough cotton pillowcase was really like rubbing my damaged hair around, and because of that friction, it was easily breaking off in the night. It seems so simple, but I really have noticed a difference since I've switched to this pillowcase. My next tip is if you are a fellow blondie like me and you touch up your roots at home by yourself, be very, very careful not to overlap the bleach too much. So let's say you're trying to just touch up your roots right here and you're going along and you're painting on the bleach. Be very careful not to get the bleach down here, because that's how you get that breakage that is very, very short from the root. Obviously, it's almost impossible not to touch it at all, especially if you're doing it yourself and you're trying to get the back pieces and you can't really see what you're doing. But just try your best not to get the bleach on already lightened hair. It is very damaging, especially if you're using a higher volume developer such as 30 or 40. I knew a friend who had breakage where basically this entire piece of her hair was broken off to about here, and it looked very odd. She did cut her hair short to make it look more on purpose, but she ended up getting just one tape-in extension right here so that she could have some length in the front. Obviously, tape-in extensions are a little bit damaging, but if your breakage is very noticeable and very severe and is taking off a huge chunk of your hair, then maybe it's something you might want to discuss with your hairdresser. Okay guys, that is the end of this video. Share your tips in the description. We can all benefit from each other. Again, I'm not a professional, but this is what works for me. I love you guys so, so much. Please subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. I do new ones every single week, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.